My video for November the 21st, 2019 is number 3,291. The title is Trump is likely the most hated and best loved president. I can understand why the deep state cabal might hate the Donald. He might really be working to drain the swamp as he promised. Of course, Obama promised us change we could believe in, and things became worse than ever. Had Hillary gotten in, it would have gone downhill even further. Trump is an enigma. He surrounded himself with some deep state players, including his VP. He also appointed many military people to his team. He seems to be aligned with some mysterious entities as well, like QAnon, who some suggest may be a Kennedy. It's clear as mud, right? I have friends that absolutely love him. And yesterday I realized I also have friends who despise him. Are the latter merely misinformed? Or are they pro-deep state? As for me, I want the cabal to either repent or be quarantined from the rest of creation. Those who violate the free will of others, the mind control, government, establishment, need justice administered with grace. Some may not even be human, just reptilians in human costume. What is true? Does anyone really know for sure? You know, as usual, I wrote the blurb right after the previous video went up. That's my norm. That's how I normally do it. Sometimes it's just a title. Sometimes it's the whole blurb. Sometimes it's part of a blurb. But I normally do that right after my previous video airs. And sometimes I have a list of possible titles, but I usually put one up anyway. I start preparing for the next recording. And so I had already, on the previous video, I had already recorded, or I should say, wrote the blurb. I had already written the blurb, but I didn't record it till late at night. Now I'm recording this in the morning. I watched a video a little bit earlier in which it was suggested that the manipulators actually changed the time sometime in the past. I don't know exactly when it was supposed to have happened, but they offset it 5 years so that 2017 was actually 2012. Now, I'm not claiming that that's the truth. I'm just saying that that's something that some people suggest might be the truth. I do know this. We've been lied to about practically everything. And no, every time I say that, people say, well, how do you know then that the earth isn't flat? Well, to me, common sense. But people that believe it's flat, to them, they're thinking that their point of view is common sense also. I just don't buy it. And for reasons I've explained in other videos, which is not what this one is about. Donald Trump is an enigma. I didn't vote for him. I'm not completely in his camp. I don't like his alliance with certain individuals, but I understand why he surrounds himself with people that are obviously deep state. Pence, to me, is a deep state player, and so are many Republicans, and probably most, but not all, Democrats. Most of the government has been deep state because the deep state has been running things on this planet in the United States for a long time. So we've been fed a diet of lies. Do I believe that they could have changed the calendar at some point in the past? It's possible. I don't know. I know I believed that when 2012 came, 2011, 2012, that positive changes were going to happen. If in fact it was offset 5 years, then that would coincide with the election or the taking of office, the oath of office of Donald Trump, who of course was inaugurated as president, sworn in as president in January of 2017, which if it was a 5-year offset, that's when Donald Trump came in. So it makes me scratch my head. I'm not pro-Trump, but I am anti-cabal. I'm anti the money changers that have manipulated things for a very long time. And I think that ultimately the money changers go back to a generation of vipers, as they were referred to in the Bible by Jesus. And some say it's not Jesus, it's Yeshua. And there's arguments over everything. We argue and butt heads about everything. The one thing we don't do is love one another. The one thing we refuse to do is listen to each other and try to have intelligent conversations where different points of view can be discussed without pointing fingers and saying you're wrong. Because the truth is, we don't know. We don't know. We base our ideas, our viewpoints on what we've been exposed to one way or another, whether it's through our education system, whether it's what our parents taught us when we were really little. But we end up with mindsets that become very difficult to shift and change. So that when somebody comes along like Donald Trump, who is obviously an enigma, he is like, I always called myself the paradox man. He is certainly a paradox man. Now, some people say he's stupid. No, he's probably more shrewd and has a higher IQ than an awful lot of people, myself included. But IQ isn't even everything, because a lot of people with high IQs are demonic in nature. They are totally selfish, totally deceptive, and they might be reptilians, as David Icke keeps telling us. I don't know what the truth is, and neither do most of you that listen to this. Now, when our mindset is ego driven, we might think that of course I'm right because I'm so smart. Well, I used to think I was so smart too. I wonder, how smart am I? The delusion is so effective that it's easy to get sucked in to believing things that they may have a ring of possibility to them, or even a ring of truth. But we might end up downstream and say, well, how could I have believed that? That's how it was with me with the Bible. How could I have believed that the jealous God was the creator? No, the jealous God was the miscreation, or the miscreator, the evil one, the dark forces. But do I know any of these things for sure? No, I'm an explorer. And I encourage people to explore. Be willing to think outside the box. Don't swallow what we've been taught in our institutions, because our institutions have all been compromised. All of them. There are no true religions or true political parties or true scientific theories.